জায়গা পরের জমিন ঘর বানাইয়া আমি রই, আমি তো সেই ঘরের মালিক নই, আমি তো সেই ঘরের মালিক নই। পরের জায়গা পরের জমিন ঘর বানাইয়া আমি রই, আমি তো সেই ঘরের মালিক নই, আমি তো সেই ঘরের মালিক নই।
I think for me personally, the most impactful moment working on this show is the notion that we were able to work with people across the world during a global pandemic. We were able to work with a company in India, which just sounds like the most unattainable thing.
There were two sections rehearsing for the same project but at two different parts of the world.
So while working with actors over here, the actors from Maine were not present. So they were imagining and they were developing their parts. And then we filmed it. And then actors on the Maine side were actually rehearsing with filmed actors. And we wanted to use this kind of an interactive form interacting between liveness of theater and filmed parts.
These actors we've been working with are extremely talented, and they kind of have like a whole different way of working. So seeing their work and with ours and then it coming together has really like brought us all together a lot more.
As actors, a lot of us / them have to, have a certain suspension of disbelief when it comes to the things that we're doing.
Obviously, they're like very important scenes, but it is challenging to make it work. But that being said, you have to make it work.
Finding that timing, finding how to like perfectly sync up with that video has probably been the most challenging for me. But I love it. I loved every step of the way.
As somebody who explores theater, the liveness of theater appeals to me. The moment of fallibility is what is also magical in theater. There is an element of sacrificing, of surrendering to human error. But when I'm filming, there is a desperate attempt to fix things, to have things absolutely correct with the intervention of technology that contradicts my vision of working in theater. So those experiences have been really illuminating, revealing.
What's been really impactful for me has been watching all of the scenes and all of the characters and even all of the tech kind of like slowly transform into this finished product, which I think is just like in general very impactful.
I love the idea of live theater because I just feel so connected to the actors because it's just so intimate. So this space that we're using is incredible. We're coming out of a global pandemic where people are like craving connection.
আমি তো সেই ঘরের মালিক নই, পরের জায়গা পরের জমিন ঘর বানাইয়া আমি রই, আমি তো সেই ঘরের মালিক নই, আমি তো।
And something that was really difficult and challenging to shoot was probably one of the refugee movement scenes. Movement has been a little difficult for me, if I may say so, but it turned out beautifully in the end, so I'm really happy about that.
I am a barfly in the show, and there's a scene where we have to dance. I found that I picked it up pretty quick, so I'm like, hey, I can do this. I can do this in front of people.
We do this one scene where we're sort of telling the story of how these refugees came to wherever they were going. A lot of them ended up dying.
We all come from like different places, and even though like none of us are refugees, we were really able to see our differences from each other just from talking over like what these people had to go through coming here.
So while developing the refugee scenes, when I was working with the actors, we realized that the cultural references of many objects of food is very unfamiliar to us. So we wanted to find a way of relating, of identifying with it.
I felt like not worthy to tell their story. Like I didn't struggle through this. Like I can't even begin to imagine the pain they went through.
We started to explore smell, objects, memories, a sense of touch, and everything that signifies home.
We do come from a place of privilege compared to these refugees, so it was very humbling being able to tell these stories, and that was really challenging for me, trying to come from a genuine place because I had never experienced that before. But I was able to pull from places in my own life, like how my mom isn't in the States anymore. Like I was able to pull from me missing her and how a refugee might feel about missing their family.
And thereby we started to develop that emotion with a kind of immersive experiences of our own. And that was extremely personal and moving while developing this play.
পরের জায়গা পরের জমি ঘর বানাইয়া আমি করি আমি তো সে ঘর বানাইতে So this is a Bengali folk song that we've used, which means that porer jayga means porer somebody else's space, and porer jomi means somebody's land. And this song, I felt that would probably would do justice to the entire production, because Anon, as a character, keeps on shifting geographical spaces. And the purpose is to portray the shifting landscapes, because a refugee probably does not own a land, own a space, own a house. And this is what Anon has been going through.
Something that I really want the audience to take away from this is understand the struggles of immigrants.
This play brings an air of if you listen, change will happen.
A sense of longing, a sense of wanting to reach out to your near ones, to things that you've lost, and yet not able to do so.
No matter where you come from, we're all human and we all have these stories.
It made us remember that every individual is important. Every individual has their own uniqueness.
It's genuinely so much harder than we can ever imagine. All that we want here to do is be empathetic and just understand our struggles.
Take stock of how much that they care about one another.
That is what we have tried to explore through the narrative, through the design, and that's what I want the audience to feel.
I want people to think of a brave, young and kind-hearted boy whenever they think of Anon.
I would like to mention here of a video I saw on Facebook a couple of months back, a video from a Syrian boy who was trying to shame the world with helpless rage, to say that how dare you forget us, how dare you don't think about us and don't do anything about it while we die here, we are dying here and you're not doing anything, and how could you just go back to your homes and to your good food, to your family, watch theater and do everything else and not do anything about us. I want that to be the takeaway from Anonymous. But at the same time, I am a believer, I'm a firm believer of fairy tales. I believe in happy endings. I am a die-hard optimist. I also want people to take away from Anonymous that power of positivity, that yes, if all of us want something to happen, the world conspires it to make it happen.
At certain point, it makes the audiences remember about the hardships, the sufferings, and that it's the truth of us all. And at a point, we all become one. We all become anonymous.
And yeah, that's all that I have to say. I hope you have an amazing day. Please be kind to one another. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you take something away from this.
With to kait go kanan with guide. Paisting gas fright. When